Hello, everyone. It's Monday night, and it's time for the Plastic Crack podcast. What do we think? Did that work?
Yeah.
Like, there it's a celebrity or just not us. Like sound bites in or something like that. That'd be
good. It's good.
No, that was well. Yeah.
Nobody would have noticed, but now you've made a big thing out of it.
No. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this this lovely Monday night. To my that way, you'll see Ken. What are you working on tonight? Wars of Roses?
No, I'm doing Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. You just showed us Wars of the Roses.
I did.
No, you said throw a curveball. To my down there is Dom. Dom, what are you working on tonight?
I've got some kerns on the go.
Lord
of the Roses.
Bringing in the Irish.
A bit of Irishness.
Bring a bit of Irishness. Oh yeah, sorry, I should say that Dom's from Boots on the Table and Ken is from Miniature Wargaming Warriors.
I've decided I need to change my name. It's annoying.
Everyone, if you can think of a name for Ken's channel, put your suggestions below. I'm sure there's some doozies.
Oh, there's going to be some doozies on that one.
And below me is Steve from On Point HQ. And Steve, what are you working on tonight?
Bolt action. The last five. The proper last five this time. Not the fake.
Is that really the last five or the last five?
It is the last five. No, it's
sure?
definitely that. That was just a crushing disappointment. You think you're at the end of a project and there's five lurking yet to be painted.
Why don't you? Why don't you fill everybody in on your woes?
So last week, I was rather giddy and excited the fact that I was about to finish my US Airborne project with the last five, before looking at a box and realise I had 10 to paint, not 5. I'm sure we've all been there, but I swore. I really did. I thought I'd lost them at first. I was like, do you know how I had to go back to my Instagram to make sure I hadn't actually painted them and just put them somewhere, but I hadn't actually built or painted them. I blame old age.
I was going to say, it's a senior moment. That is
definitely a senior moment.
Senior moment. Well, thank you again for joining us on our little frolics. We just also want to say a very it's not really a apology, but also a thank you to everyone that bore with us last week during the stream. We had some sort of, should we say, I don't say that uninvited because it's an open stream, but some extra guests.
Dickheads,
Yes, appeared at the end of the stream. So thank you if it got a little bit off kilter, but thank you for bearing with us. If it threw us a little bit, we were obviously don't expect to see that all the time, but I think we dealt with it and we'll just carry on if it happens again.
The banhammer.
The banhammer. Well, yes, but also it was Ken's channel, so it didn't matter so much.
Yeah, it's all fine.
It's okay. It's okay. Anyways, to say hello to a few people, we've got Tim Stevens was in there first, saying that he was looking forward to this one, and I answered your question in the comments. So if you scroll back up, you'll see the answer to that one. We have Mr. 95th. Hello, Liam. How you doing? We got Nick Games, Dave Baker. That's the one who said, hi, everyone. Looking forward to the chat tonight with Martin and brother Ken. And you two don't get looking.
Yeah, what about the rest of us, Dave?
Dom, we are irrelevant.
Yeah, you are. You're old hat, innit?
Yeah.
we have Gary Phillips. We've got Bill Roy, who wants to know if I have the same dread of the 60th rifles as I do the 95th. Imagine the look on Martin's face if he faced both the 95th and the 60th. I don't think anyone's actually...
Who paints the 60th when you paint the 95th? That's the question.
Well,
it's a good question. We're going to find.
You do both.
You do both.
Really upset.
You can upset me. Lazy Pirate Painting, Evil Jim, hello. The stream, of course, sponsored by reapergames.co.uk. There'll be a code issued later on. You can get over there to give an additional 10% off on top of the discount that he already gives on the RRP. And he's got Warlord Games, Perry Miniatures, all sorts of bits and bobs, and anything that you want that you can't see on there. Email him or message him, and I'm sure Jim will get back to you. After I've gone through this, we're going to be doing the live draw for the people who commented on the stream last week, offering up a prayer to Brother Ken.
There was some fucking crackers that got me the next day.
There is some brilliant ones. And the winner will
ones.
get a £10 discount. No, I have enjoyed going through that. I've been checking back. It's most of those views you'll get are probably me going back and reading them. To be fair,
it's so funny because I just I think it pops up on my phone obviously because it's my channel, and it's just throughout the day you just randomly getting these prayers come through, and I'm like, this is actually cracking me up.
We've got Leslie, Aaron Lowe, Louis Baby, SJMT 66, Seventh Son. Thanks, Ken. That was because you wrote something back. It was me. Matchlock Studio, Tim Stevens, Paul Crouch, Evil Jim Reaper, I've already said you. Battle Matt, Hammond Jam, Tim Stevens, Granaprigo, Rich John, Drew, how you doing, buddy? Benjamin, Tim Stevens, might have said this. Ferriby Viking, hello. I'm not sure I've seen you before, but hello, welcome. We got Steve Harbour. He said he's finally finished his 10mm ECW army, only 170 miniatures, so he's resting his eyes with some British Napoleonic artillery. Lazy Pirate Painting, pretty sure I think I'm now. Ricky Turner, friends of General Haig, Matthew Hogg, Jason Horn, Niall Bennett, Shakos and Sprues, Crossing Obstacle Gaming, Marky Sparky, hello. That's a new one for me as well. Hello. If you're not, I'm sorry. It's Luke Farrell, Old School FRP, Rich M, Miller's Miniatures, who let you in? Richard Taylor, Jody Patterson, Jim Freeday. I've just accidentally gone all the way to the bottom of the comments. Battle Matt, I don't know, Battle Knights. I've lost it all. Anyway, should we see what each? I'll catch up with where we were.
That was all going so well. You were.
It was, and it does that thing where it just jumps to the
refreshes, doesn't it? Jumps all the way.
Yeah.
Here we go. No, I got it. Was it Tidgit 59? That's amazing. Hello, how are you doing? Imaginary Conflicts. Battle Knights. Karatoga 70. Well Hungingdon, best name on YouTube. Hello, how are you doing? And Glyn Moss. Robert Cox, Sam Beckett, Graham's Wargame Vault, David Treacle, lots of people in Kitchen Wargames, Paul's Paint Shed, how you doing, bud? And I think we're there. Damn right. Close it. No, don't go anywhere. Stay here. I've got you've sent me a picture to share, so don't leave. So should we see what we've been doing? Ken, yours is probably short. Do you want to go first?
I'm not going first now.
Actually, yeah, no. I say Dom. Come on, Dom.
Oh shit! Hang on. I'm just dropping paint everywhere. All right, hang on. Here we go. I haven't actually done that much this week because
Dom, did you just say you're dropping cake everywhere?
No paint.
I thought you said cake.
You got cake on the mind, Steve.
I love it.
Are you hungry or something?
Vicky sponge in front of him.
What kind of cake would you have, though, Steve? That's the thing.
Scone.
Cake?
No, anything with lemon, anything lemony. Just not Victoria sponges because they make me wharf.
You did not just say scone, did you?
Scone.
It's a scone. It's a scone.
Oh God! Here we go.
Castle.
Say scone.
Scone. Scone.
Say all right. I'm going to right now. I always imagine
jam or cream.
Both.
I've just muted him. It's all right. I've muted him.
Good plan.
No, there you go. I always thought Steve would be an Eccles cake person.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. I just imagine you.
An Eccles cake. No. Anything lemony. That's my bag.
Oh, okay.
We've got to say we had to get the heavy metal in there somewhere. Yes, Paul. Decent. Have to represent. Ken is going to come to the next gig that I go to with them. He's promised. So, he's coming. You said that you would come to a Monomarth 5. We agreed this. You might not have been here, but we agreed this.
Oh right, I was going to say
he did agree. I remember it. I remember the stream. So what have I been? I actually had a really good game this week. My first game of the Roses using the Hell Caesar supplement that Martin's working on.
Yes, I did send it through. And how'd it go?
It was really good
It looks
fun.
very cool.
It was a good game. We were just literally playing a pickup game, just sort of roughly the same forces each side. My Stanley's got an outing. There is a video going up, but I think it's fair to say that new paint doesn't always perform as it should in a battle. Shall we say that? So they didn't really do very well, but it was a good game. I really enjoyed the game. Really good fun. But painting wise, fairly limited. I've done these 12 mounted longbowmen.
Very cool.
That's going to be the start of Clifford's. What is it called?
Flower of Craven.
Flower of Craven. So there'll be some dismounted ones to go with them. And I did some crossbowmen. So there's a group of 10 of them. Their purvases on their muddy field, and that was it. That's all I've done.
I like them. Color burgundy. That's cool. I like that.
Burgundy. Yeah. I wasn't sure I was going to do. Wasn't sure I was going to do it as burgundy. Then I saw somebody copied somebody's blog pictures where they'd done in green and blue and white, and I thought that was so cool. I did it that way, and then put the burgundy flag.
It's I found out as well that in the French actually originally there was just this little note. So I think I can't remember which battle it was now, but they were French mercenaries for the Yorkists because the French king, his son hated him, so because he was supporting Lancastrians, the son sent some French mercenaries over to the Yorkist side as well as Burgundians. So I might have to do some French as well now. But that's very cool. I'm glad it's good to have a game. How did you find switching back to Hail Caesar?
Do you know, I really enjoyed it. I don't know that I've played that many Hail Caesars for a at all, really. And so it was actually quite tricky to forget the black powder stuff, because it's like you said to me before we played, it was like there's enough similarities to really get you in trouble, because there's some really crucial differences that that are not the same in black powder.
There's none of the command modifiers are in there, the formations, and also combat is resolved completely differently too. And also the stamina values are twice as much, because it's all about hand-to-hand. It's to encourage it's the hand-to-hand combat.
I know there was an element where my crossbowmen were hit by Jonathan's unit of longbowmen, and he did like 3 casualties on it. He said, "Oh, that'll be shaken." I said, "No, they got 6 stamina." And he went, "What the hell?" So it's like, because they're a tiny unit, a small unit, so they shouldn't have.
That's it.
But it was good fun. It was really good fun. Really enjoyed it.
Good. Paul said, "Is that the Clifford, the absolute scrotal sack that killed a young prince at Wakefield?" Yes, that's the
same one. That's the one.
That's the one. The one who's got the.
I'm trying to field as many bastards of War of the Roses as humanly possible, or those that have so many splinters in their asses from sitting on both sides.
You definitely need to do Warwick then at some point.
That's true. That's true. He is the biggest one of them all. But the thing is that to be honest, isn't that you're not just picking the bastards, because they're all you're picking the bastards,
the real bastards, the bastards.
I'm
going proper bastard.
Have you done the one on the flag sheet where it says what's his name? Something, the bastard of something.
There's quite a few of them.
I noticed that it was quite a popular way of describing people back then, either because they were one or because of their deeds.
Yeah, and handily, it worked out well for quite a lot. Sam Beckett says Butch Clifford. Friends of General Haig's just picked that up. Warlord out.
We were talking. Martin and I were talking about this earlier, and I think we need to do this. It needs to be done. That's all I'm saying.
I will. I have. Yes. Yeah. Probably, but I don't know. We'll see.
Depends if they accept it. But
depends if they like it.
Martin's already done some adaptations of the priestly version of the adaptation of the rules. So, and actually, I think they really worked well. And the only one we didn't play last week was the artillery one, mainly because I forgot. But other than that, the rest of it we did, and it worked really well. We thought it was a great game.
The only thing with the reason we did the artillery, for those. I don't think it's really come up in the games we've played, but basically we've added reload markers after a cannon fires, and basically to get rid of a reload marker, you just need to pass a successful order. And for a bomb, it was a way of delay. So when you fire a bombard, we put 4 reload markers on it. So it doesn't mean, so it means like the bombard can't fire, and it means that you can't necessarily just keep on peppering them with cannons. And then, so you could move. So if you got those, multiple orders, it was possible to say move and reload and do quite a, something like that, and just give cannons a bit more to do. We thought just because they can get a bit stuck. But now there's a few other units that I've had to do that I've come up with some little profiles for, and I've added 20 different lords now to the list in the back, which is just from like as many as I can possibly find. But it's trying to even them out so they're not too.
Did you include my mounted longbow rules?
Yes, I have. I get them out, and then basically all the new ones I've highlighted in a different color, just so, and I've got a different version. They can try them out, and then we can tinker with them a little bit. But I'll send you the update, and then the plan is after the next battle, I will probably upload it into the files on the Plastic Crack podcast Facebook page. But I'll also find some way of just making a shareable document, I guess.
But Ken, what's missing out of these rules? They're really, really nice, and the rule set works pretty well. But can you guess what Martin has left out?
Go on.
Of it?
95th
point system for the troops. There are no points available for it.
Sorry, we're going
to add training if you want that.
Yeah. I sent you the basic thing that we're doing, but I know you have to put your big boy pants on and do it yourself. Like,
I know.
I love not playing with points. It's probably one of my favorite things. I've really started to hate match play unless it's like a tournament thing.
That's cool.
Actually, Nick's quite right. To judge it without second guessing the effects of the game, they did at times feel like they were walking in complete mud. And I love this stuff. Usually, you need to get Sean Bean to play Bastard in the War of the Roses TV series.
Definitely.
Sean Bean Bastard compilation. Bastard. Steve, what have you been up to, mate?
I got complimented by Warren on the Facebook group. He said that last week I approached Dom levels of productivity.
Well done, mate.
Which is, might have been a bit of hyperbole because I managed to complete some, but not hundreds. What did I do first? Right, I did my second base for my War of the Roses Burgundians. So there we go.
Very nice.
That's I've sort of got the paint scheme down now. So I'm actually going to, the rest of this is going to be painted at once. I'm going to try and batch paint 12 of them, which may end me. But as you'll see from the other one, I've actually gone in and made the bases a bit more funky than they were. So I've added,
cool.
Yeah, I've added tufts and a bit of clump foliage amongst the mud. Just thought they looked a bit sparse, to be honest. But yeah, I'm happy with the way they are turning out. And the second thing was another section of US Airborne.
Excellent.
So I finished them on Friday on my day off. And it was rather nice. Yeah, so that should have been the last section. That should have been it finished. But due to my shonky maths and let's see, I normally plan my projects on an Excel spreadsheet.
Foolish.
But I didn't this time. I didn't. And see what happens when you take Excel at the equation, you make mistakes. This is why I love spreadsheets.
You and Ailey should do the thing for the PCP.
You think you know somebody, and then he goes and launches into.
I used to have one set up where each cell was one figure, and then I put a formula in. So as they were all populated, it would tally the points next to it, so I could see physically and numerically what I was working on. You all look like you want to shout at me for some reason.
Should we just? I don't know really what to say.
even I can't understand. Yeah,
you all look disappointed. Really disappointed in me.
Do I?
You let yourself down. You let us down.
It's just we've been chatting for the best part of a year and a half, and you think you know a guy, and then it just
I know.
So, one of them's into Excel, the other one turns out to be a priest.
Nerd. It's because in my previous existence, I used to record everything that my team did on an Excel spreadsheet. I had spreadsheets and trackers coming at my arse, basically. And they were everywhere. It's because I'm a bit of an MI nerd. I love information and data and collating data and reporting on data. Do you want to move on to Ken?
Yeah. I was hovering on the mute button then.
I'm just wondering what announcement Martin's going to make next. I mean, we've had brother Ken. We've now got the maths nerd. What the hell is next?
Yeah. Okay. Right. So. Jesus, what is going on?
Go on, save it, Ken.
Right, Monday. Right, as usual, I did absolutely nothing. No, I didn't. I actually did some work this week. So ACW, hooray! I've done my first unit. Yay! The 20th main, they're done. So yes, I actually managed to complete this regiment. I've put them as I'm basing it around Gettysburg. So at Gettysburg, they weren't full strength. So I've not done them as full strength. Go on.
Isn't that the Gettysburg Battle in the Box? Anyway.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. But I'm doing it so they're not full strength. So they've got 3 bases instead of 4 for a large. So yeah, I've done that. I also managed to do this, which I was quite happy with. I finished my casualty marker. I've only got the one angle, so you can't see it very well, and it's still drying. But yeah, I have done a bit of gore on his sword. I need to finish it off. It still needs a bit more. The blood's not as good as I think. The army paint blood thing, is not as good as the GW Corm Red. I'm gonna have to go with that, I think. But yeah,
do you want a good mix of blood?
Yeah, go on.
What works quite. Use two drops of blood, or 2 parts Blood Angels Red to sort of half a part of Gore Grunt of Fern. Mix them together, let it dry for a little while till it's kind of tacky, and then just scrape it on.
Oh, okay.
That's what
I was gonna.
It has that kind of darker sort of look.
The glistening blood's a bit purpley, to be fair. So yeah, that's that. And then I managed to. I'm well happy with this. I managed to do my base for Northumberland.
That is very cool.
Very nice.
Very good.
I did. I've done a bit more on it since I spoke to you, Martin. So I've put some pigment powders on, and I've dry brushed the wood green as well a little bit more. I've put some reeds on. Just try and find a better angle, a different angle. Sorry, where is it? That's like from the rear. And yeah, he is executed.
Very sweet.
It's after the battle, so yeah, he's executed Neville.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, so Northumberland's just having a walk by, just like off of his head, and yeah, I'm well happy with it.
It does look very cool. No, it looks sweet. It really does. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Anybody else see there's a certain similarity to another member of the team's work, and how Ken is being influenced by this?
just a tiny little bit.
Just a little bit there.
Yeah, but I do like the decapitation part. I am quite happy. I was going to do a guy hanging from a tree, but I thought that'd be a bit too much. But it might appear.
Not because decapitation's really not enough, really, is it?
No.
I might still do it at some point. I don't know. I might do like a hangman's thing. I'm not too sure, but they didn't really hang them, did they? So that was more for
they hung them up after they were dead. It's just they were in multiple pieces.
That gives me an idea.
Oh no! What have you done, Martin?
Hey, if he wants to chop his models up, that's up to him.
So yeah, but that's I like that image. So
I think it's very cool.
Very good.
Very cool.
But yeah, so that's that. I'm quite happy with that. But yeah, that was me. So that was me. What about you, Martin? What have you been doing?
So I went back to ECW this week. So I finished Wing of Musketeers for Bard's regiment. So I've got these guys. These are all bicorn miniatures, and they are lovely to paint. They are so nice. These are, I think they're sculpted by the same guy, isn't it? He does sculpts the bloody miniatures.
Really nice.
So they're just good really nice chunky sculpts. So I've got one more Wing of Musketeers to do, and then I've only got a couple of things left, and that's everything for the ECW done, and everything after that, that's the core army done, and then it's just little additions to it. So that's the sort of Musketeers. Also, like I just thought, basically, I bought a load of packs. And I thought, no, I'm going to spread them out a little bit and just make the bases. I don't care if it's not got exactly the same number of guys on. I wanted to just be sort of, if I need to, I'll just say they're small wings of Musketeers. But yeah, I enjoyed doing those. And then I painted the Galloper gun from Warlord, which is a great little kit. Yeah. A lot of fun. Although I can't help but thinking, and my friend says, is it utterly pointless, the caliber on that?
Oh, absolutely.
I imagine it would kill like 3 or 4 people.
Like
it would just, it's just a big musket, isn't it? It's just it's just an early anti-tank, right? Like
pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty cool though, isn't it?
Yeah,
so if you're firing at Cuirassiers, would you they wouldn't get a negative for their saving roll or anything because it's a higher caliber gun. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty pointless.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to paint. I actually enjoyed painting this guy more than I did these two. So he was a lot of fun. And then because I've done them again on those bases, I can just put them basically either side by side. They slot together and
go back to that. Go back to that other one, mate. Go back to that other one. He looks like he's might have had an accident. His face. He's
probably has.
Oh,
probably has. He's probably going, I'm towing this bloody gun around, and it's
I
don't know. It just I just don't. I mean, it looks cool. I'll take it. You can have one per 2 battalion of cavalry. So I thought, yeah, why not? We'll chuck it in. And I got it in that Warlord sale months ago. I think you got one, didn't you?
I got 2
as well. But I suppose it might be good against like minor fortification, like Gabians and maybe minor fortification, like people are hiding like in a house. I don't know. I can't decide. Anyone in the chat? No.
I suppose. I mean, they probably could keep up with the horse. So maybe because Musketeers couldn't, that was a way of doing it.
Yeah.
Adding some kind of firepower, maybe.
That's it. And I thought I'd add a picture because, of course, last week I did share this on the group, but just in case nobody saw it, this was the outcome of the big base that I was working on. So I kind of wanted it. You've got like a gate that they're filing through on the left, and I just wanted them all marching on the road, and then so it's like three companies. I was going to stick a guy with a banner on the back, and then I kind of decided not to because I thought I just kind of liked it as it was. I thought the banner at the back might be that step too far. I don't know.
Shouldn't you put in the rivets or the whatever it's called, the gutters by the other side of the thing? Shouldn't it just be rivers of blood or something running down there?
It will be when I've been beaten. I'll put the amount of blood I put in there will be proportional to the number of times I win, which will be few. So we won't. Hopefully I'll have we'll be having another game soon, so we'll see how they all do. So yes, that was how we're doing.
Miller had an interesting comment.
Where is it?
He goes, that one. He said another one earlier. It's actually quite a good question, actually. I don't know if he was taking the joking or what, but he put, what are you going to do if you have more than 6 wounds? It's a very good question. That unit will never have more than 6 wounds. So I think what I'm going to do with these is like design, so you can get some of the units in hell. So 10 wounds, like big one, isn't it? How many wounds you really got?
What's the highest? 8's the most wounds I had the other day.
Get D8, can't you? So I could do a bait. Yeah. I could do a thing that will fit a D8 in instead. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's quite a good question. But yeah, that's what I would do. Someone put, why aren't they blue?
You do, yeah. Why aren't they?
Because they're not French. Thank God.
Hang on. I thought that, and you said it. It's extraordinary.
Yeah,
right. So I think we'll kick things off tonight, considering we're already half an hour in. We will do the draw from last week. So those of you who watched the podcast last week, after Ken legged it to work, had to know that we basically said that if you wanted to be in with a chance of winning effectively a £10 voucher, it's a £10 discount of your next order from Reaper Games, on top of, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Jim, the 10% with the code and the off whatever it is off the retail. So it's £10 on top of 30%. Is that right? I think that's right, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I have. I'm going to have to share my screen. There we go.
I have to say, you guys excelled yourselves with some of the prayers.
That's it. So
funny,
we've got this here. I've already input the YouTube video URL. So I'll just there were 21 comments. I'm just going to. Yep, there's still only 21 comments. So if you we'll start in a second. If you are the winner, if you can please contact us on the email address below in the description or through the Facebook group, then we will pass you the code. So good luck, everybody. And the winner is Chris Richards. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I don't finish the minis piled high, I pray brother Kenneth for my soul to sleep. Nice one, mate. Well, congratulations. Brilliant. You are the winner of a £10 discount code for Reaper Games. If you can contact us down below on the email address for the theplasticcrackpodcast at gmail.com, or contact us through the Facebook group if you're on there, or alternatively just comment on this video. We will get the code over to you. Well done. Sorry everybody else, but I think next week we'll have to share some of those.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. There were some quality ones.
They were ace. And Jim says that's it. So yeah, that's £10 off on top of 30% off.
Blimey.
Which I think is basically free. So, like,
it works out Perry's box for like £2.
Yeah. So no, congratulations. Send us a message, and we'll get that code over to you. We've got a few more things to announce later on in the show. But I thought tonight that we would have a bit of a giggle, because we don't do that anyway. And we would actually look at Wargame's design. Can we basically smash our heads together for an hour and come up with something? This is just off the back of watching quite a few videos, and because you guys know I've been doing this stuff with, which is all I'm doing with the Wars of the Roses stuff is basically coming up with a Hail. Like there's plenty of stuff for Hail Caesar, but it's just tinkering with things. But then there's the campaign system, which I've been having loads of fun doing, and I've just really, really enjoyed it. It's once you get into the flow of it, and I've been scratching down ideas. But now the YouTube thinks the PCP is some sort of cult.
It is a cult. It always has been.
It is.
Isn't that a well-known spelling mistake, I thought? Oh, okay.
Yeah. What I thought we'd do is just basically just have a chat and see if the four of us could actually, and the chat can come up with something. And if it would actually work, who knows? Maybe we could take it to CrackCon on a piece of A4 paper and see if it works.
We could publish it on Amazon.
You could. So I guess the main thing is, if you were going to do a war game, if you were told, what's the setting? What would you want to do? I mean, because obviously there's loads of things that have been done to death, like World War II and Napoleonics, but they're also safe ground because people play them. What do you think would be a good setting? Like, what do you reckon, Dom? What do you think would be what would be a good setting?
I've talked about it before on here. My favorite thing really is Ancients, and I would love to see a really good quality. But the problem with Ancient rules, I think, and it comes to the heart of this, I think, is the fact that most rule systems, particularly for Ancients, cover such a vast time period, from biblicals through to medievals in many cases, and I just don't think they give enough flavour. So I would love to see a really good, enjoyable, big battle Ancient rule set. I know Hail Caesar does it to a degree. but again, it covers every period under the sun. So maybe we need to do a similar thing to what you're doing with the War of the Roses to turn that into more a narrower niche, because I love the Alexander successors and the sort of period after Alexander dies, and I think that would be fantastic.
Okay, all right.
Myself.
Okay, so I am writing this down. Look. But no, good to see. We'll come on to you. And all right, then, Steve, what about you? Would you want to do something World War II or?
No. Mine is quite left field. I would like a really, really gritty, near future cyberpunk skirmish game.
Ooh. Yeah.
No, with no laser weapons or. Just like what do they call it? Hard-fi, where it's sort of science fiction, but like near future. That's what I mean. I know Zona Alpha is sort of bordering on that because it's very near future, and that's what I go for. So it's gritty. I want it to be like a really miserable game as well. That makes sense.
More like miserable to play, or just miserable?
No. I want the background setting to be.
You'll hate these rules. I can see the catch line now.
Just to be thoroughly miserable.
There is a game like that called. Oh no, it's not. It's not The Last of Us. It's
This War of Mine.
No, This War of Mine. Both the computer game and the board game, which are all based around the siege of Sarajevo, are the most miserable experience you will ever have playing.
That game was amazing.
It's great, but you don't walk away. You don't sit around with your friends for 2 hours or 3 hours in some cases playing that game and go away going, I'm really pleased we did well. We lasted 3 weeks before we all starved and went up.
No, for me though, it'd have to be a skirmish game as well. So 4 to 7 minutes aside. Small playing area, quick paced, miserable.
Excel sheets everywhere.
Excel spreadsheets everywhere. Oh,
that could be someone's. There was an old computer game. Syndicate Wars was an old computer game that was a bit near future. Did anyone play that? No, right.
I think what I'm inspired by is the Deus Ex games, because I love Deus Ex video games.
Yeah,
the series, not quite as technologically advanced as that, but sort of that ilk.
Okay, all right. I think you might want to have a word, Dom.
Yellow card, straight out the bolt. There you go.
There we go. Napoleonic French badgers with bolt guns fighting Vikings, and they all come pre-varnished.
And the vehicles have got bases, obviously.
And the vehicles has to have base. They have to. Swords and Sandals written by Dom. S&S by Dom.
I think we'll move on from that.
That sounds like a crap aftershave.
I think Benjamin might.
Benjamin's got something.
Papal Conclave provides skirmish game in which groups of cardinals fight to see who's going to be God's next representative on Earth. We can have Brother Ken as a cardinal, as a miniature. You could have individual stats for your cardinal.
Talking about Brother Ken, I was. Anybody else follow Steve Barker's Facebook page, and he does all these commission miniatures. I feel like doing a crowdsourcing thing to see if we can get Ken done, modelled as a mad ultramarine French priest. Yeah, a monk. I mean, it's only got a couple of £100. We could do it. I'm sure if we all put a $5 in, could all do it.
I'd be up for that. You'd have to have a release miniature with any kind of rules, even if you weren't doing like you using current ranges. You'd want a mini, wouldn't you? Like in Neverwinter, but you'd have to have a mini. So Brother Ken. With choice of Brother Ken with whatever system, whether it's near future and he's like some kind of wasteland gimp.
Fucking hell.
I can see him as a waste. Yeah. And I don't think so, General Haig. No. Definitely not.
Shakos Sprue says he'd like to see something skirmishy with the sort of hero system you get in Lord of the Rings. Really bring some periods to life and have characters play a bigger part. That's quite a cool idea. I like that. Battle Knight said he's actually working on a medieval fantasy rule set where the rules of the units come on their movement trays. Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
Ken, what about you, mate? So we've got Big Battle Ancients and Gritty Near Future Cyberpunk Future Skirmish.
With Excel sheets, don't forget that.
With Excel sheets.
And misery. Lots of misery.
And lots of misery.
It's really hard because
misery.
I think there's some really great rule sets out there. But what I don't think there is really good campaign sets.
Yet. Thank you.
Yes.
Yet.
So I think there's some really cool rule sets, which is really cool because I can go around and play Dom tomorrow and come around yours, play you, and go and play Steve, which is cool. But there's never anything that keeps us going on, like that makes it like an event, like a campaign adventure sort of thing. Like I've always liked the idea of, say for example, we played I don't know, Falklands War, okay, because I've got a thing for that in a minute because I've listened to an audiobook. Don't ever do that. But yeah, so like you get like Goose Green and all that. So just a really cool campaign set of rules that are really nitty gritty and get down to like specifics, information that you had only know through historical research and bits and bobs. But like what you're doing with War of the Roses, mine, where you're adding lords in and shit like that. But I don't think there's a good enough campaign set of rules anywhere that can be used universally yet.
That's hopefully what that one I will do will be, with some little additions for period specific or battle genre specific things. So that's the that's the plan. And I do have an Excel table which for it, which is sad, but I don't use Excel properly. I just use it for putting things in columns and then pasting it into Word. That's all I use it for. Okay, so Ken,
I do think a campaign is a campaign system that's easy to use would be really, really cool. I mean, Ken,
so it
you
gives
remember
your game
the
a
Oath
purpose,
Mark,
doesn't it?
the Oathmark one that was pretty good.
It was.
That was
the
quite
one in the Lardy Dux Britanniarum was designed for minimal bookkeeping and allows region control and things like that. So you want, I mean, for me personally, yes, I think you can come up with some amazing campaign systems where you're looking at resource management down to the pound and things like that, but they become so intricate. Which is like the one I'm working on
becomes its own game, doesn't it?
Yeah, the one I wanted was I wanted something with kingdom control, movement of armies, and just a way of creating a narrative for the battles that you can then fight using whatever system you want.
The other thing, there's got to be a real balance in the campaign where it doesn't just upset people, put people off playing it. So if you start losing if you lose your first 3 games, there's some campaigns I used to play years ago, it was just no point playing on. It was just boring as hell. So it's keeping that alive for the people who don't necessarily do so well in the early games or even any games, but also giving the winner enough of an incentive to win, if you see what I mean. Because if you just play every game there's no real difference, it's a series of linked battles, isn't it?
That's why I think it's important you have attrition in there. So even if you win, you do still suffer some losses, either on the march or after the battle. And that's, I don't want to keep on saying like coming back to this thing, but again, in the ones I've done, if you look at the video, basically, even if you win the battle, you lose some points because it stops you going on a rampage. You still have to feed your men. You still have to like take stock after the battle and pay them and all that kind of stuff. And it also, it stops you just rampaging around the map. To a certain extent, anyway.
I think that's a good idea.
But yeah, we'll see. So we got Ken wants something with a campaign system, but we got Big Battle Ancients and Gritty Near Future Cyberpunk with added misery. So Steve said basically Wargaming version of Father Ted. Circus Wars, 30 clowns and a single VW destroy itself when they disembark. Louis Baby, army of football fans, they think it's all over. Headshot, it is now. Jesus. Bill Rye, Ken, ever wish you'd have kept quiet about being ordained? Of course he does, but that's now going to haunt him. You wait till we do our Christmas Eve episode and he does midnight mass.
Fucking hell. I will wear a fucking habit. Is it habit? What is it?
Nuns wear habits. I'm sorry, I couldn't cope with Ken dressing.
Don't stop him. Oh, that is brilliant.
That's it. Can that be the
Shake us
game?
up,
Can that
Spurs
be our
wins.
game?
That's it.
Cyber monks.
We can have warring. Can we do that as Steve's gritty near future cyberpunk future with monks?
Fantastic.
Jeez.
I don't know those sort of games, but I would do that one.
that would, wouldn't it? You just would. Where are we? Alejandro, hello, mate. He says, which game do I need to choose to start with this hobby? Do you mean wargaming in general, or are you just referring to our sort of mad talk at the moment? Let us know down below, because if we can suggest a few if you are looking, and so can the chat. Scott says, his first time on the live stream. Hello. You're currently building Waterloo British Army for Black Powder. Good choice. And religiously been watching my videos. How can you have got the mighty 95th kill? I don't know. I assume you're watching the video where I played Ken.
Yes.
Because for me, the 95th don't want to do anything. But if you watch the most recent battle report, you'll see that the mighty 95th got used as sandbags for the rest of the part of the game. Spoilers. We're gonna be using them again, aren't they? Because Ken, you're coming here on Saturday, aren't you?
Might be.
He might be. Ken's going to be coming here. He's going to be bringing. I'm assuming you want to be French, so I'm going to be in control of the British again. So we're going to be. I'm going to have to do better than 95th, and I've got to say, if they don't,
I'm coming up in my Pimper bill, aren't I?
Oh Jesus! I don't know if you should advertise what you're doing.
No, I'll hold off. I think
we should hold off until we've done it. And do these two know?
No.
All right, we'll tell these two after the stream, and then if it works, we'll tell everybody next Monday. And then if you're not there because it hasn't worked, everyone will know why.
But it's a genius idea, isn't it?
It is a genius idea, but I think you're going to one person in England is going to be really, really upset with you on the Monday. And there's no one who watches the stream.
We hope.
Imaginary Conflict says if it's a campaign doesn't have a campaign map, it's not a campaign.
True.
I do like maps.
True.
I do like maps. Alan says, is there a hooligan game? We'd like to see that one. He says, yes, it was the one against Ken. Because they did rubbish and they blundered and they just charged his French and died. That's what happened to them.
He's not a very good general.
Who won?
It's my first ever game.
Doesn't matter.
So he won the second game.
What second game? There's no video evidence.
There's no video
Who won the third game on Steam that you forgot to record?
No one.
Yeah. Exactly.
Welcome to the Semantics Crack podcast.
If they don't have this argument at least once an episode, something's seriously gone wrong.
I know.
Well, we can actually finally get it down though. It is like the Royal Rumble on fucking Saturday, isn't it? The game to end all games. Who will win?
Oh, jeez.
Was it like getting full contact Connect 4 or something?
I'm just gonna hurl the 95th at him across the board. He's gonna throw his miniatures at me because they're all plastic. They'll just bounce off. Whereas I've got loads of metal ones, so when I hurl them at him, anyway, we get slightly off kilter. I don't know if I had to. I'm trying to think of something I would do. Well, I suppose the obvious thing was I'd want to do medieval, but I'm a bit like you. I'd like to see. I'd like to do something ancients, but I don't want to do ancients with the mythic stuff. I want historical ancients. Yes. But I was thinking more skirmish. I was thinking sort of like, imagine if the Odyssey was like you were just traveling back and you haven't got all things. But I suppose Mortal Gods kind of does that.
Yeah,
already. So that's probably me. And I quite like the idea of a gritty near future cyberpunk miserable future because I think that's it. Well, let's what do you think in the chat? What would you rather see? Mass big battle ancients, mass battle game. We'll put a campaign system in for either one. Ken's happy. Or gritty near future cyberpunk future skirmish rule set with added misery.
Cyber monks. We need cyber monks in there.
Or are we just going to make cyber monks?
Mind you, that'll be a winner, won't it? We just know that.
You could be a winner because there's so little monk things that you could just kit bash with little lasers and or sorry, no lasers, but they could be throwing rosaries at each other. I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody either. So sorry, I don't want to offend anyone. But like, it's this is too good. But all right then. So what about systems? And by system, like game systems, I mean, what do people prefer here? So let's go the other way around. Start with Ken. Do you prefer entirely card resolution, cards with dice, or entirely dice?
Cards and dice.
Cards and dice. What, like muskets and tomahawks?
Yeah, I quite like the aspect of not being in control of everything 100%. Like having to make decisions for your opponent's quite cool. I quite like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I'm really weird because, like I was saying, I quite like the idea of having what's that board game that like that's based in Africa Corps, World War II, the biggest board game ever. It's massive.
What Axis and Allies? Or
No,
Iron?
It might be Tide of Iron, but it's huge, isn't it? And you do all like the nitty gritty campaigns. I think I'll be honest with you. I think I'm that sort of person that would really enjoy that. Just because then I can do the nitty gritty stuff and it's never ending, and that's probably what I like.
Okay,
but I like the idea of cards and stuff like that. Definitely.
What so like say cards to determine initiative and events and then dice.
Yeah, like actions. Events. Yeah. Even bringing weather into it as well. I think that would be quite cool. Not a lot of game systems do that very much. Definitely.
I'm not sure. I'm not putting that comment on the screen.
No.
But very good. Very good.
Moving on. What about you, Steve? What do you like? Because you come from an RPG background as well, don't you? So
yeah.
What do you like?
I'm like with Ken, dice and cards.
Yeah.
Although I don't know whether this is included in this part or a future part of the discussion. I love the mechanics behind Chain of Command.
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool.
Where you roll the dice, and based on those dice, you can activate certain units or certain individuals, or you can combine them together so you're not fully, like Ken says, you're not fully in control. So you may need to really rush down that rural country lane and fire. But if you don't get the right roll, they don't do it. I just like that. I like the unpredictability of it.
Like the hidden deployment kind of stuff, like at the start of the game where you're moving around. And
there's that, but it's also the unit activation. So you roll a dice, and depending on what dice you roll, that depends on what kind of unit. So whether it's an infantry section, a weapons team, an officer, and so you may really, really want to move something, but if it doesn't come up on the roll, you can't. So and it represents kind of the ebb and flow of battles, and there's real lulls in the fight, and it can get pretty frenetic. I just think it's a really great system. I really do. I've never played it, and I really want to play it. But I think if I could incorporate that into my miserable Excel-driven cyberpunk game, I'd be a happy chap. Yeah, misery.
I was just scrolling through. I think it's almost fairly even. Miserable cyberpunks. What about mass battle cyberpunks? There you go. Yeah, yes. Okay. Interesting. What about you, Dom? You've played a lot of different systems. What are the ones? I know you really, really like muskets and tomahawks. So
yeah, I struggle because I'm not really sure, to be honest. I love all sorts of different things. To me, it's not so much the mechanic; it's the effect it has. Like I like sharp practice very much, and I like muskets and tomahawks, both of which are card driven. But I also like the simplicity of Black Powder and Hail Caesar and those sort of things with just pure dice activation. So, yeah, I don't know really. I mean, I guess the mixture of cards and dice is interesting, and what I do like is the variability that you get with that. However, I think for something like My Massed Ancient Battles, it probably wouldn't reflect the nature of the battle terribly well. You kind of have to do a bit of a sort of, everything moves, then the opponent moves, because
Well, could you do it like activate one wing of the army at a time? So center, left, like brigade. Like so, imagine black powder in a way, but with alternatively activating brigades rather than units.
Yeah, you could, but then I also think the thing with black powder and Hail Caesar is that variability in that. And if you've got 4 commands, say, it's inevitable one of them will fail its commands in every time you play. So it still gives you that variability. And I don't know. And because you can do group moves, it's relatively quick for your opponent. Yeah. But I don't know. Okay. I'm quite easy on it.
Really. I suppose the thing is, like, you don't want. There's a few games out there, and I won't name them, which I feel just have gimmicks. And I don't feel the gimmicks actually serve a purpose in the game. So all of your mechanics have to actually serve a purpose. If that purpose can actually be covered in a rule that you already have, or by just rolling a 6, like I think like critical hits and things like that. You see, something I really like, and this is more from my tabletop RPG backgrounds. I like pools of dice. I like building up a pool of dice. So, for example, and it's so a bit like
Chain of Command,
or the World War II one, which I like. The skirmish one. I completely forgot. No, not that.
Operation Squad.
Operation Squad. So, it's very, for example, there's a really good RPG system called. It's so good I can't forget it. It's Savage Worlds, where you build up a pool, of dice. No, what am I talking about? It's not even that. Jesus, it's called Fate. So in other words, so you would roll, for example, you can have things like your skill might be 2d6, so you'd put 2d6 into there. You might be aiming, so you get to add another d6. You, however, might be shooting over 2 pieces of cover, so you're minus a d6, and you add. I quite like those, but obviously that wouldn't work in a mass battle game because it's too pernickety. I think that it would work better if you were doing a skirmish game where you have individual skill levels per
Lord of the Rings does that, doesn't it?
So it does a bit,
but the bow and arrows,
yeah,
and stuff.
Yeah, but so there's also a system, something I quite like that I was thinking of was sort of like adding things in, like dice that have actual complications on them. So you actually have a dice that has, instead of things just saying you fail it, there's a dice in there that maybe has a result that's like jam, blows up in your face.
Like misfire dice from fantasy.
Yeah, basically, you actually have something like that. So you might add that dice in if you're firing a cannon. And 3 of the dice, three sides of the dice are blank, but 3 sides of the dice have jam, blow up in your face, and I don't know, out of wet powder or something like that. So you have that in there, but then you would need specific dice for specific circumstances, and then you go, is it being a bit gimmicky because you have to? It's a bit sargery because you have to have the dice for that game. That's something you have to have. If you want to play that game, you can't play that game and use the dice you already have. You have to then buy that with it. So I don't know. So I think the idea,
difficult, isn't it? I think skirmish games and small unit games definitely it's easier to have that sort of flexibility, which it happened basically. Because it's the nature of the beast. You haven't got as much record keeping. I'm trying to think of a real big mass battle game where there's anywhere near that level of variability. I
don't think there is at mass battle. If anything, it goes the other way.
Exactly, and that actually then is the other problem. It's too samey and too inflexible and unwieldy. So it's.
But I suppose that's where. Yeah, and I suppose that's where your campaign system can come in, whereby units, they start off samey, but then they develop things like elite status, marksman. They become feared, they become cowards, they've taken heavy losses, and then the variability, starts, and you really start to. I was going to interrupt because Gary Phillips says he's doing his first Napoleonic Regiment of Spanish Infantry, which is the best set of rules for getting started in Napoleonic Wargaming. You can pick one. Ken, go.
Me?
Yeah, go. Just
black powder, 100%.
Okay, Dom?
100%.
Shot practice.
Steve?
He likes little drummer boys.
Little drummer boys. That's going to be Steve's Napoleonic rule set. The little drummer boy that couldn't.
I've heard good things about black powder, but I won't be painting any of them. Moving on.
I would say I'd say black powder, but you need a lot of models. So
Well, that's why I would
yeah.
say sharp practice. To be honest, I'd be slightly facetious, but Gary, if you're building out a Napoleonic force, the beauty of doing something like sharp practice or Shakos and Bayonets is that you can start out with a small force and play it and use it, and it's kind of fun. And then as you build your army, expand it into a black powder or something else, General Dame or whatever your poison becomes. But at least you can get your figures out and use them, which I think is a great incentive to work through the armies.
And you can always leave them on 6x4, 60 by 40 bases and play sharp practice.
I mean, you just need some kind of marker system for casualties on it. But all the other thing you can do, which I've done with some of my figures, is have some of them on 20 by 20, 20 mil by 20 mil squares. And then you buy from Wall Bases a thing to hold them all together in the right size for
Victrix do really nice. Victrix do not really nice squares, and then a movement tray with it. Stuart from Miniature Realms pointed out to me the other day. I didn't even realise.
That's cool.
They're really nice. But
okay, we will check out. Well, there you go. I hope that helps. Gino says, Ken is talking about the campaign in North Africa from SPI, the biggest board game ever. Apparently, no one has ever finished a game of it. I lost that there. But someone just said Chain of Command at CrackCon. Yes, if you're at CrackCon and you want to bring Chain of Command and have a game, then bring the stuff.
And I would love to play you at it because I'd love to have a game.
Yeah. That's so. Bring that along.
With Chain of Command in mind, what are people's preferred scales? 15 or 28? Because when Big Rich was on, he said 15 is the scale that works best with Chain of Command. That's why I'm painting all my Chain of Command figures at 15 mil. But it'd be interesting to get other people's takes on it. What scale do you game it in?
Or 20 mil.
20 mil, yeah.
That's a traditional Second World War scale because the airfix.
1/72 in old money then.
Yeah, 1/72. To me, I don't play Chain of Command. I play Bolt Action, so I tend to have 28 mil, and I just would expand it out to do. But I have got a lot of 20 mil figures, so I could do it that way. I don't know. Big Rich knows his rules, so I guess 15 mil is good then.
Yeah.
See, I've only played Chain of Command once, so I'll be well up for giving it another go, or certainly watching a game. So yes, that would be something to have a look at. Louis Baby says he likes games with pips to activate regiments or brigade commands, cards that give abilities like the one-off general motivates his command for 2 pips and things like that. That's that's a good thing. If you can develop abilities as well. So maybe every commander starts with like a motivational speech they can activate once a game if they got a certain number of pips, and then as they get experience, I suppose you can include an experience system in mass battle games, but it's just your colonels and your commanders that gain experience rather than necessarily your units might get an elite status or something like that. But what's he doing?
I've twigged it. I've figured out the perfect rule system. I've done it. It's just hit me. What we need is Total War, so like Rome, but for tabletop. So we need the incorporation of like the diplomacy shit, all that sort of stuff, like when you play Total War, but in a tabletop format.
So like all the real nitty gritty,
that would just.
I'd
love something like that.
They're releasing a Rome Total War board game, you know that, right?
Yeah, I'll be all over it. But do you know what I mean? If like you had like loads of people, say like you had 15 people, you were all different nations, and all that. Like that. But they've done a when was it? Normans. They did a Norman version for here.
Medieval.
Yeah. So they did another one. I can't remember what the freaking hell it's called now. It's only recently.
Okay.
But yeah, that sort of thing. But can you imagine like a campaign like that? So you'd have like diplomacy, all that sort of stuff.
I've just seen the chat. 28 mil.
It's like 28 mil.
They like their 28.
I think there's a general consensus going on in chat here. I might have to stick it
15 mil.
I might have to stick it into an Excel spreadsheet and do some
Decent further
I
analysis.
agree with Louis Baby here. He says diplomacy can be handled by the players in real life, conspiring sods that they are. Yes, we did a campaign back in Warhammer Fantasy where we just made we used some graph paper and made like a little map of an island, and then just kept stabbing each other in the back and attacking. Like, it's like, oh yeah, I'm an ally with you. And when someone sent their army away, we just raid them. I didn't look at this. This is just, can we get away from the This is not going to do my.
No.
Although I do like this, set the cell height to 28 millimeters.
Yes, it's a good idea.
Oh no!
I don't know, I think the thing is with all these. I mean, a campaign is brilliant, but I said before, I think you need best campaigns are run with some kind of umpire that can do the fog of war or something like that, and that keeps both sides interested, or all sides interested equally.
Yeah,
one of the very first campaigns I ever did, I don't know where this counts, but it was a Necromunda campaign in the second, well, the box version in the mid-90s. And we had one guy that kind of stepped back. We used to play around his house. But he didn't. He only ran his gang when he needed to, as part of the narrative. But he used to produce a weekly newspaper.
Perfect.
And he used to recount each skirmish or each encounter would be reported on this newspaper, and we ran that for about 6 or 7 months, and it was a lot of fun because it didn't. Necromunda's got a good campaign system anyway, and I'm not sure about the new version, but back then it did. But adding that extra narrative element with the newspaper, and we had a map as well. And so when you won a skirmish, you took over that area, and you got perks then for different roles on the experience tables and the scrap tables. And it was really good. But it's probably the only real campaign I've ever really played in.
Yeah, I've never played in a campaign. I'd love to. I like the idea of as well, like we'll probably do, Martin, like a skirmish before the big battle as well. So it's more historically how it should be.
So you can pick positions and take key parts and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like you guys are big into your role playing, aren't you?
Yeah, massively.
Anyway,
narrative.
So it's that kind of thing with it, isn't it? It's like the old days of the dungeon master who ran the game, and it's having somebody to do all that kind of stuff, or some system that makes it easy to do it.
Yeah,
it does add a lot.
Yeah, that's what you're trying to sort of add in so that you have like a. And again, that's why. But also, you want to be, because I can tell you, as someone who plays a lot of role-playing games, but I have limited time, that you need that because if that person suddenly runs out of time, or they get ill, and the whole thing breaks down.
You're buggered. Yeah.
So it needs to be simple enough that someone else can pick it up, fairly easily, and then just run with it. So here's a question, just before moving on to the next thing. This is just a weird one. Is it D6? Is it a mixture of all dice types? Is it D10s? Is it D12s? What is it? Is it the holy D6 that people would just want to keep? If you were designing something, what would you want to do?
D100. No, I'm being serious.
I know.
The 100% rolls. So if you start off with a ballistic skill of 45. Hardcover, plus 15%. I really, really love that system. I've played a couple of games.
Fantasy one, weren't it?
Yeah. I've played a couple of what was the best one? I'm trying to think of the one we played like that. I think the old Necromunda might have been D100, or some of the rolls. I just like the idea of that percentage roll. So rather than just saying you got to roll 4 or more. Adding the percentage, so close stats. Close range plus minus 10 to roll. Hardcover plus 25. I just think it's just a system. I think it works well.
It's a bit like the Fallout game, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it is like that. I mean, that's cool. I do like. So you would but that
went out of favour. That used to happen a lot I remember Second World War rule sets, particularly having exactly that kind of mechanism. Your base chance was 70%, and then you worked through the stats, and it gave you different percentages off, and you rolled percentage. It was good. I don't know why it quite fell out of favour, to be honest.
Boredom, probably, isn't it? It's like of anything, fashion. You do everything for so long, it all comes back around, doesn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
What about bespoke dice then, like X-wing?
Again, I'm up for it, but you're asking the only problem with that is first of all, you're asking people to it's like games that come with specific card decks. You're asking people to invest extra to be able to play the game. So as long as that system can be played and you give people an alternative, like you can say, well, look, 5 or 6 is a success or something like that. That's the only problem. So if you can make rules cheaper and dice to come with the rules, because I think we all do. Like, and obviously I covered, I talked about this a little bit in that the test resolve thing, or we've talked about it before. But you might be forking out for a rule book, but if you then got to fork out for a card deck and dice and something else on top of it, that soon mounts up. And then if you get it and go, I don't really like this.
My objection with the dice thing is not so much the expense, although that is annoying and probably stops a few people getting into it. It's when it's completely pointless, because in reality, you look at something, I don't know, even a Saga game where they got all the different types of dice.
Yeah,
you don't need it. You can just say a 6 is the rare, the 1 is the comp, and so you can work it through very easily. It's just you sort of almost fear peer pressured into buying the various dice, and all the dice games I see. I mean, I don't know. I haven't got a huge amount of experience with them, so I may be talking my arse. But they just seem to be. They are just D6s, right? So one has a TIE fighter on it, and one has a whatever else has it. It's
I mean, with X-wing, they're D8, but there's no. I mean, you could just use normal D8s and work out the values, but there's nothing greater than rolling your dice and getting three red criticals. Oh, that's just a perfect gaming moment.
I suppose that's the thing, isn't it? If there's because some of them, because in X-wing they relate to they have symbols that might relate and activate other things. Same style as Legion. So you might get one symbol that means critical, one symbol that's a standard hit, and something that's a critical failure, or you get or you might have two faces of the dice that have 2 successes on rather than that. And obviously, I suppose you could break it down and say, so 1, 2, and 3 is a miss, 4 is a success, or 4 and 5 is a success, and 6 is 2 successes. But I guess it's just that visual thing. It just makes it easier if you're saying it's based on, I don't know, for example, the number of successes that you get is visually, it just makes it easier.
No, it does, especially with X-wing, where you've got different coloured dice for what your actions are. So if you're firing, you're doing red dice. If you're defending, you're rolling green dice, and you've got different symbols for each dice. So it is a very bespoke driven game with the actual. I mean, you could do it. You could work out a little crib sheet for what each one is.
Yeah,
but I think from a visual and a sort of a speed of game perspective, if I just roll 3 dice, right, I've got 1 evade, 2 misses. There we go. We can move on straight away.
That's true. When you have to go scurrying away, so what does a 3 stand for?
Yeah,
that's true.
And X-wing's a fast-paced game anyway. I mean, the shooting and the defending. I think it's a big part of it as well. Is seeing 3 blank greens and seeing your TIE fighter be blown into pieces in one shot. So.
I know that feeling for sure. Marky Sparky says he likes the way you select your game in Star Wars Legion. I do as well. I don't know if you've seen this, Steve, or if you.
Yes, I've been looking at the back reps.
So you have a deck of objectives, a deck of battlefield conditions, and a deck of deployment zones. And what you do is you deal out 3 of each face up, so you've got a grid of 9. And then you go across the top, and you can each veto twice. So Dom, for example, you might. So say at the top it was like pitch battle, capture the bridge and defend, or something like that. And you'd be like, well, I don't want to play a pitch battle, so you get rid of the pitch battle card, right? Then the next person can either take away the next card on that row, or move down to the row below. And say, right, so say I'm getting rid of the pitch, but you get rid of the pitch battle. I'd be like, okay, so now we're capturing a bridge. I want to do that. The battlefield condition, the first one is clear, but the second one is foggy. I'll be like, okay, I want it to be foggy, so I get rid of that clear. Goes back to you. You have the veto, but you're like, no, look at that. I don't want to play in the fog. And the last one is rainy or something. You go, I'll get rid of that. So we're playing in the rain. I look at the last one, and deployment zone is standard. The next one is corners. You basically get rid of that, and you're left with the thing. So we're playing capture the bridge in the rain, and we're diagonally deploying. It's a way each time and there's lots, and you end up with Star Wars Legion building up quite a big deck of possible cards and possible objectives and scenarios. So it changes each time.
Can you change your force composition according to that, or is that already chosen?
No, I think forces come afterwards. I think I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it comes afterwards. So yes, if you do,
really cool.
Yeah, and you could do it for a lot of things. You could do it. We could do something similar for our gaming on Saturday, where we start in the fog, and you got to roll for the fog to clear. Yeah, it's a way of there being you having some control over a random event, if that makes sense.
So what we're basically saying is we all just want that variability and a bit of color to a game. Yeah. So does that mean, without hijacking it now completely, does that mean we all hate competition? You know, I know somebody here doesn't like points games, but sort of that sort of really balanced army thing. I mean, is that out the window?
Just to I don't. Well, yeah, I do hate points.
Yeah, it's not. I
hate points for those kind of mass historical battles, because I don't like being told what to do. For fairness, because battles weren't fair. So I do understand the need for balance, but I think systems can be more general. You're playing a game with random determination in it, so I don't think necessarily things need to be as nitty gritty as some.
My argument against that, and I'm not being completely. I'm not completely disagreeing with you, because I actually quite like the variability of things. Is you do then need to have some very good objectives in mind.
Yes,
and people need to work on their games, because otherwise, if you just rock up to have a game and you go, well, just take out the box what you've got, and I'll take out the box I do, and it's not going to be much fun for one side probably. Whereas if you say, well, you've got to hold on for 5 turns and defend this crossing, and then you get that sense of achievement, don't you? So it does need to be worked at.
You can make the objectives side base, can't you? So like someone rocks up, say Martin rocks up what would be equivalent of 2,000 points, and you rock up with half his force. Your objectives need to be completely different to what Martin's are, and they've got to be based on 2,000 points worth of units compared to your 1,000. So your 1,000 might be just hold on for 3 turns.
But that's what me and Haley did. Two brigades held off 4.
Yeah.
You play a game, which is what I tried to do in those Black Powder. Your scenario is just use it, but that's what all those scenarios that I've done are. We do pitch battles or have general things, but if you're doing like a defend scenario, generally defend will have less, but they're starting with advanced positions, and they already are in control of the objectives. And the defend, I've never understood games or scenarios where the defender has to go and capture objectives. I don't quite get that.
Doesn't make sense, that one.
And sort of Paul's just said here, what happens? Use your imagination, take inspiration from history, books, and films.
Agreed.
Precisely what we do. Like the one where the tank is going to be in the crossroads with 4 guys defending it against an SS battalion.
Yeah, because that's a really historical.
3 SS battalions.
That said, I have had some absolutely cracking, balanced, exactly the same number of point armies on each side, and it doesn't mean you can't.
I think in a campaign system, you need a system by which points vary for armies, and you suffer losses. And that's how you can have that variability, and you will end up in a situation where, say, a small understrength platoon might end up fighting 2 platoons. If you choose to have them fight, that's up to you, because you're the one in control of that army or that force. But I'm well aware that if we ever wrote a game, that you would want to keep points in there, because some people do want to play a balanced thing. Because if we might play another game, mightn't we, Ken? Or if we played Lord of the Rings, I'd say, well, how many points have you got? Let's bring them down, because it's harder to work out a scenario. Or do we just play the sets? So Lord of the Rings is a good example. They have set scenarios and they have points values for match play for people who want to do it.
Yeah,
that's why I think some of the bolt action campaign scenarios, I think they're really well done. And in many cases, there is a point disparity between the two. I remember the last proper game of bolt action I played last year. I was playing the Australians. My mate was the IJA. I think I was at quite a big points disadvantage compared to him, but I like that. I like the idea of being challenged and being tested. And can I use what limited resources I've got to eke out a victory? I mean, we still play 1,500 point games. That's another thing. I know Dom was quite taken aback when I said this. I think it was last year. I don't like massive games.
No,
I don't like. We once played a 2,500 point game of bolt action, and for me it was overwhelming. There was just too much on the table.
Takes too long as well, doesn't it, Steve?
Takes too long. I mean, when you've got 32 dice in a bag, it's taken a long time. But for me, it was just visually it looked too. There was too much going on. There was too many units. It was just I just didn't. So for me, I think we've capped our play at about 1,500 just for efficiency, time, and it's just visually as well. I think 1,500 points bolt action looks.
I think bolt action is a game that is basically just a large skirmish game, isn't it? So I don't know the system is really designed. I mean, you do see people do some very fun games of 3,000, 5,000 troops, whatever aside, but I think it's not really at its best. I think you're right.
It's not rigged for that.
No, when we play bolt action, the way we envisage it, that 6x4 table is one small part of a much bigger battle. Yeah. So why try and cram everything onto one table?
Agreed.
When you can just be playing or fighting. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, bolt action games are small action. For me, it's a small action game. Yeah. Very limited, very very local. Whereas I think Black Powder, because Black Powder isn't 1-to-1, is it? It's not. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but that's the way I prefer to play my games of bolt action.
750 is a sweet spot for bolt action.
That's the thing. SJM T66 says he likes link games. Fighting to the last man can be a bad idea because you've got to consider those actions, which is true. If you're playing one-off games, you'll generally keep them. What you will go bugger it. I'm just going to go for it. A good example of that is Dead Man's Hand, where you play the 3 linked scenarios that have repercussions in the next one. And you might not. If you lose a certain guy, you might get bonus. You might get a disadvantage in the next game. So one game of Dead Man's Hand is actually 3 scenarios long that can still be played. But again, that's skirmish, so there's nothing to stop you playing 3 linked big battle games. You just got to get them organized and work out how you're going to do them.
See, Necromunda was like that. I mean, you could be having a great game, and you might want to go on and really wipe the floor with your opponent. But you've got to think, well, I've got 3 men down. They're going to be rolling on the injury table. What's going to happen to them? I like the idea that it's not so gung ho. You've got to think of the next game, the next 2 games, the next 3 games. How's that going to affect who's going to be able to be involved? Because with Necromunda, you could lose fingers, you could lose an eye, and that's going to affect your shooting and your weapon skill. I think it's a dead simple mechanic to do, but I think it works really effectively.
That's good fun. Friends of General Haig says the WRG Scenarios for War Games by C.S. Grant is a great book. 52 interesting scenarios for multiple periods.
True.
Paul says, whatever balancing system you use doesn't work once you roll a dice. Balance goes out the window.
That's very true.
It is that is true. That is true. I mean, if we talked about this before, but if we talk about like the supposed points for the old guard, and my old guard do nothing, they get rinsed. They get absolutely rinsed, and if we were playing in points, I'd be, they get taken apart by 1 line unit of Hanoverians, took out like both of them. It is hard. I don't envy the people who have to sit there and come up with points and then justify them to their customers, and I can see why so many erratas kind of come out.
It is the toughest thing, isn't it? But that said, I do honestly think, just like we were saying about little skirmish games and what have you, I still think there is nothing finer than seeing a massive battle of refight of Waterloo or of Karnai or whatever. Alton, whatever. That would be fun. That is still the best thing.
I mean, I do, but then that's down to, if you say rules. We've gone well off track, but it's fun.
Oh yeah,
so never mind. As we do. So it's fun. I should really say again, everyone, we are sponsored by Evil Jim Reaper over at reapergames.co.uk. Go over there to get all of your bolt action, Hail Caesar, ECW, Samurai, Mantic, Black Powder, goodies. He's got the battle sets from Warlord Games. He's got everything Perry. So if you want Wars of the Roses, the amount of Wars of the Roses stuff that's kicking up in the group is amazing. I love it. And all we needed to do is do some deals with Great Escape Games so we can get Plastic Cowboys. That would be amazing. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't. Yeah. Yes, go over there and check him out. We'll chuck up a code near the end of the stream, which you can use, and if you put that in, you'll get 10% off your order, and on top of the discount. And if there isn't anything that you want in there, or rather, if there's something you want that isn't on there, then give Jim a message. He's in the group. You can get him on Facebook. You can just email him, and he'll see if he can get hold of it for you. He's a really nice guy. He always gets back to you. So yeah, get in touch. On that note, it's probably a place to put out one of our little announcements for CrackCon.
Yes.
We've got a few things that we'll be announcing as we come up to the big day, and a couple of things that we'll keep secret until the day. It is going ahead. It's not a hoax. Just want to we're not
scamming you.
Let's mute Ken right now.
Right? Yeah. Let's just mute Ken. So Ken, go for a wee, or make a cup of WKD or whatever it is you drink. But we would like to invite you all to take part, those of you that are coming, in a little painting competition. And it's very simple. I've just done a banner, and basically we are going to be doing a small World War II vignette painting competition. It has to be on no bigger than a 50mm base, although 50mm base is ideal. And it can be absolutely anything you want, but it must include cork.
Yeah, there's still be cork on the base.
On there. So there will be a prize for first place, and it's going to be judged on the day. But we're going to be the four of us. We'll be judging, and we will be basically judging it on a couple of different things. So obviously, the paint job, but also originality, the trying something new, or something that you've attempted, and as Steve said, the amount of cork to plastic ratio. So someone's just going to put a German on a cork. It's just gonna so please take part. And of course, if you're looking to get a small sprue of something to do with World War II, then head over to Reaper Games, because you'll be able, with that discount, you'll be able to just pick up like a sprue of Germans for a few quid. But no, we'll take them on the day. Of course, if anyone wants to you do this anyway, you can put it on there, but it'll only be stuff that is taken on the day that will be judged. So we'll keep on chucking this up as a reminder, but this is just one part of it. So please bring them along. There is a prize for first place, which it's not there is a prize, we just haven't we'll announce when it is closer to time. It's just there's a few things we need to sort out which one it is, basically. I think we know, but there's still something. So I will leave that up there for a little while. So if you've got an idea, if you want there's something, keep to yourself and bring it along. That being said, did you guys see that one that was done for Warlord Games, where they did it on top of was it a gas mask canister?
Oh yes, that was absolutely fantastic. So good. Really good.
No, it's cool. So please, when you come along, have a go. You can say it could be anything you want. It could be as silly or as serious as you like, just like us.
And if anyone needs any assistance on procuring cork,
he's got a good dealer. He knows where to go.
I'm a crafty veteran when it comes to purchasing cork.
That's it.
He knows
That's it.
Your cork dealers.
He is. So, and also, of course, if you're watching this on the replay, thank you very, very much for watching, and get making a little World War II vignette. Obviously, probably the ultimate judge will be Steve, because we'll be sitting there going, he'll be there weighing it for the average weight of cork. But no, come along and take part. And of course, we still have a few tickets left for the big day. I think there's sort of about 4 left. So it's getting there. So we're nearly at capacity. So if you want to head over to the Facebook group or search on Eventbrite for CrackPod, and it will be there. And of course, and the other thing I should say is, if you guys haven't checked out all of our channels below, go and check them out. Give us if you like what you see. Give us a sub if you want. Lots of different types of gaming and painting and all sorts. Then go down below and give us a like and give us a sub. And that would be awesome because it helps the channels a lot. And also join the Facebook group. There's so many things I've got to say. Go do this, paint this, go here, like this.
We should just make a video up and then just click the play button and let it go for 30 seconds and then just come back after. Now enjoy this quick ad break from the PCP podcast.
Will Steve be sniffing the entrance? He will, and he will determine the vintage of the bottle where it came from.
I'll be able to determine the purity of the cork as well. So.
He's not joking.
Amazing. Amazing. So, oh man, this went off track. Okay, so bugger it. I'm not going to go back to those bits. Okay, so basically, we came down to we either want a big mass battle Ancients game or a gritty near future cyberpunk cyber monks with a campaign system that is kind of controlled by a dice and card mechanic with a point system, but with a point system if you want some match play, but obviously if you're going into campaign play with a way of doing away with that's what we have, right?
Yep.
Did we decide on whether we want bespoke dice or not? I mean, are we going to have like?
No, we're not going to.
So we're going with just good.
I reckon a D20 to be. I think a D20 gives you enough variety.
So the thing, the dice thing is an interesting one, isn't it? Because I think I always seem to play loads of D6 games, but recently because Muskets and Tomahawks and Shakos uses D10s and 20s, it's noticeable how much extra randomness that brings to the dice rolls, which can be quite infuriating.
I really there's a couple of games I like. Again, that are RPGs that actually denote skill level by the type of dice you roll. Yeah, so crap people will roll a D4, standard would be D6, skilled would be a D8, super would be a D10, and then like if you pay a command shit, you get like a D12, for like a one-off where like that's got like loads of successes and stuff on it. I quite like those systems where you'd have say somebody who's got a shooting value of D6 but a hand-to-hand of a D4, but you have to then have a set success number, I assume 4, because then you've always got that chance of succeeding, and that way you have ways to level people up as well by saying like, I'm going to increase this person from a D4 to a D6, and I'm pretty sure that's what Burrows and Badgers is, actually, come to think of it. That's the way Burrows and Badgers works.
Game system.
I've just thought of something that I don't know whether we've covered it yet.
Go for it.
Activation.
Ooh.
I did have that written down, but I kind of threw it. But yes, I kind of went down to the. What is that? Oh yes, sorry, I should say. Smash the like button if you like what you're seeing, because if you're watching 4 idiots try and come up with an idea, this is
we're people.
This is why I can understand why like
beautiful
people
Mondays
who develop
night
games and generally work on their own.
Yeah.
Actually,
do Australians with cork in their hats count? Yes, they do count.
Yeah. What about activations? See, I'm all up for alternate excavations. So you go, I go. But then I was quite taken with that activation system in that test of resolve that I reviewed, where you had the multiple where you had a random number of activations based on a deck of cards, but those activations could include things like events or non-events, but they also dictated the actions that you could take, like melee and stuff like that as well, which was quite odd. So Steve, what would you say activation? What do you like? Do you like you go, I go, or do you like random?
I like, because the main 2 games I've played over the past 5-6 years are X-Wing and Bolt Action. So X-Wing activation's based on your pilot skill.
Mm-hmm.
So your higher pilot skill move last but shoot first.
Yes,
That's like victory at sea, isn't it, Dom?
Mm-hmm.
But it went up then down, didn't it?
Yeah, so your lower skill pilots move first because they're a bit impetuous, whereas your Han Solos, your Darth Vaders with high pilot skills move last, so they can react sort of to what they can sort of see where everyone's going. But when it comes to the shooting phase, the higher pilot skill, they shoot first. But again, with bolt action, it's the dice. It's purely random. How the units are activated. I haven't played an I Go You Go in years. I think the last one was probably Space Hulk.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if that counts.
Okay, Hugo's good, but interruption would be cool to be able to interrupt your opponent.
But also, do you know what I love? And this is a demonstration. I like the ability to trump that. So when someone comes on going, I'm going to steal your interruption, you're like, fuck you. No, you're not. Because I've got this card. And then they can come, I quite like that because someone thinks they've got the upper hand, but you might have prepared for that along the way. But the X-Wing one is really interesting. It was really cool. So yeah, you could, your impetuous ones go first, but then they get, the guy Vader goes last but shoots first is it's quite cool. I'll just say Lieutenant Jim says hello from New York. Hello.
Hey, hello.
I don't know why I had to shout that, but
hello Jim.
Hello. It's like I was trying to
hear
make you hear me. It's like, can you hear me? But no, welcome. But
Martin, remember Han always shoots first.
I know that. Does everyone? I'm not even going to throw that out to the chat.
No. The bounty hunter shot first. What you on about?
Right, he's going. How do I get? Can I?
Hang on.
I put him in
Hang on. I've just. Here we go.
Have you just been doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Imaginary Conflict says bolt action is possibly the best activation system I've ever had. Deeply enjoyable. I'll tell you another one that develops a little bit on that. I really like the Test of Honor one, which is out of the bag as well, but they have events mixed in there with the activation tokens. So it's entirely possible. So you and you have the end of turn marker in there. So you, for example, if we did it in bolt action, you have you have your 5 dice for Germans, 5 dice for the US, a couple of event tokens that may come out, but you also have a couple of end of turn tokens, and if they're drawn out, the other things haven't activated, you're just round to starting the turn again. So your plans
that's basically sharp
practice.
Yeah, I've mentioned it before.
The same thing. It's really
last year when Travis was playing bolt action, and he put a Tiffin counter or Tiffin dice. In the bag so the sharp practitioner, the Tiffin card, he added that into bolt action. So you draw out the dice that end the turn, so it could end after 3 units have activated you onto the net. I thought that was an absolutely fantastic idea, and it's something I really want to do when we start playing bolt action again.
Yeah, I really like and with muskets and tomahawks is the event. I do like random events. They don't have to be game breaking, but I just like those little things that can happen that happened in battles and in any kind. If you're going for a cinematic film event, or whether or not it's big battle, those little things that can happen, like it starts to rain, or a civilian like suddenly appears and there's an extra victory point if you can get them to safety, or is it, just little things like that. I do like stuff like that in games that keep the game moving a little bit and keep things interesting, but nothing game that breaks games.
A lot of it depends on the scale of the game. I think if those sort of things work really, really well on small scale or skirmishy type games, I think they can be too impactful on a big scale game, in my opinion. But yeah, I thought the Test of Resolve stuff was interesting because that is a big battle game, isn't it? And it didn't seem to overbalance it, but I think I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, things like rain and that's fine, but yeah, I know what you mean. So, like, I don't know, like you having a stampede of stuff like across the board, but or having, I quite like moving objectives in games, which we're back to on objectives again now. So sorry, we'll go back to activations. Also, Friends of General Haig says he'd like to have shooting before moving in rules like Black Powder and Pike and Shot. By Fire and Sword does that, depending on the activation you take. If your unit stands still and they're preparing to fire, they shoot before they move, whereas other units that move shoot afterwards. So basically there's 2 shooting phases. which is always quite.
I like to have
quite
the
cool.
option of both. Do either way.
Yeah.
I think, you know,
So-
because the whole point about the one thing I get frustrated with is, you know, in terms of a historical reenactment of a game, if you like, is that I'm going to move here and then fire, or I have to fire here and then move. It's like, well, in reality, they would have fired at any point, or, you know, it would have been an ongoing, continuous thing. So why not let them?
Just going back to the random card event, Martin. Do you remember Virus Outbreak from the second ed of 40k?
Yes, I do. I do. Yeah, I don't think Don would like that.
No, because there's nothing worse than seeing 80% of your army dead before turn one, before you've even rolled any dice.
What is it? They just
Your army is gone. It's like, oh, what's that? You've got a gas mask? Yep, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah.
My
And then,
view on these sort of things is if 80% of my army is going to die, it's because it's some stupid thing I've done, or my dice have been shit. Not
if anyone's going to kill my men, it's going to be me.
it's going to be me.
Don, this one was, you used to get dealt so many, I think they called strategy cards or something.
Right.
But one of them was called Virus Outbreak, and for every troop that didn't have a respirator or gas mask or some sort of air filter, had to roll, and there's a good chance they'd die. So if you run like an Imperial Guard army where there's no respirators, yeah, I think they withdrew the card completely, didn't they? I think they said don't use it anymore because it's a bit
It'll break
a bit
your game.
Yeah.
No, I can understand.
That's a bit worrying on a rule system that actually has its own card that will break the game. I mean, that just
No, to be honest, I've really enjoyed that because there's stuff that I hadn't thought about, and it's just interesting to get opinions. There's loads of stuff in the chat. I'm sorry, guys, I haven't managed to go through half of these comments, but you guys have really thrown up some good things, like the ideas of reinforcements as event cards, just to get some random guys turning up. That was from Shrink 7. But no, that is awesome. But I think it's time that we probably now. I'm doing it a little bit earlier because there are loads and loads of.
Want to do some news first while you sort
Oh
them out?
God, yes, the news. Go on, yeah, go for it. Sorry, I completely forgot.
There we go. It's a bit right. It's our usual blame the Perrys thing. So I don't know whether anyone else.
Yeah, they're Wargames Illustrated exclusives, and they don't.
Yeah, so Wargames. Well, they're showing them off exclusively. So this is the next range of figures that the Perrys are working on for the Franco-Prussians. So this is Prussian Command.
I wonder what they're gaming at the moment. Let me think.
I wonder. I love this dude with the pointing the pistol. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's a lovely pose, isn't it?
And so that's weird. They're giving a fake background. Oh, so that's the French chasseurs. I think that is of some sort.
They're quite cool.
I really like them. They could be used
cool.
in. They could be modified for other systems. They've got sort of got a steampunk thing vibe about them.
Do they have vegetable patch written all over them, Steve?
Now, your only problem, Steve, with them is they are metal. Yeah, sorry, mate. Those are metal, as far as I'm aware. So you got them, which look really, really cool. Also, I saw this went up today on Empress's Facebook page.
Oh, nice.
Paul Hicks is doing some tank commanders for them. These are 1944-45 winter sets. So they do look really nice. Really nice. Particularly, yeah. I like this guy down at the bottom with his he's obviously pretty cold. So they look really cool. I know they're not everybody's flavour, but Elite Miniatures got a new range of old guard in greatcoats.
Yeah, nice, mate.
Cool.
And they've also got some new Saxon infantry, I think. But anyway, yeah, that's
I saw the Saxon stuff. They were cool.
And there was some new Victory at Seas stuff announced by Warlords.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that's Japanese cruiser. Is it cruiser? Or was it battleship? I forget. Kirishima.
I think it's like a heavy cruiser. Or
heavy cruiser. Yeah, I think you might
be
right. Oh, it's a battleship. It's a boat. It's definitely. It is a boat.
It's the boat.
I've written what it's called, but Battleship Kirishima. It is a battleship. And then you've got a new German one. This is a Schleswig-Holstein, which is I think it was really early ship, pre-dreadnought or something, but very old ship. But that's in the German one. I got this Italian cruiser, which looks really sweet. And this one for you, Ken.
Yeah, Prince of Wales.
Prince
I've
of
got
Wales.
that. I've got to get that, and I've got to get Ark Royal to own everything. So I need to get both of those.
And then for the American fleet, the Enterprise.
Ooh.
There you go. So they're all new, coming out. I think you can pre-order all those ships at the moment. So
yeah, I'm probably going to get the Prince of Wales and order the Ark Royal while I'm at it, because I completely forgot last time. But what I remember, Sean Bryant sent me some more stuff to get. I just say thank you. Some crossbows for some more mercy. Those cannons, Martin, that you've done, the hand cannons.
Yeah, look. Guess I got in the mail as well. Look. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you, Sean, for my knights that I've been chopping in half with a dangerously unstable blade. But I've still got 10 fingers.
I'm getting my own back. I'm sending him some stuff.
Oh God.
Are they arriving in brown envelopes?
No, they're not actually. No, but I don't think he's got any of these. So this will be interesting, and I definitely want to see a video on his channel of him.
Well, we'll soon find out if he likes it, because if he just sends them on to us, then we'll know he didn't like them. Love it. Oh, yeah. I was trying to have a look for some more news and things, but I didn't see very much. I don't know if it's just the people I follow aren't doing it very much. I don't
Martin,
know.
that picture I sent in the chat the other night, I've got no idea who that company is. That one, they were like fantasy empire landschneck things with big guns.
Did I miss that completely?
No, yeah, I think you said.
Yes. Damn it! No, I know what you mean, but I'll find it. They do some amazing prints for like
they look so
empire type.
They look really good.
They're very cool. I'll have to dig them out for next week. But yes, I have seen them before, because there's a YouTube video talking about, like, someone ordered a load of stuff and it came along and they reviewed, and it was ace. But no, that's cool. The Franco-Prussian stuff is so nice.
They did look awesome. I am wobbling like crazy.
I'm just glad that I don't know nothing about that period. So that ignorance is bliss, is all I'm.
Yeah, but Ken, I didn't really know much about it. But then
you made the mistake. Yeah, exactly. You made that mistake.
That's the thing, isn't it?
You made that huge mistake.
I am thinking of trying to adapt shot practice to play it. Actually, talking about Sean, he's done a few games using it for shot practice, and we were talking on chat about it, and we're coming up with a few different variations of the rules. I think it would work really well with shot practice, so I might do that because I think it'd be fun.
You found the replay yet, Martin?
Yes, I have.
Did you
stick that in your pipe and smoke it?
Just checking. I couldn't remember.
I did, because I did it when I said about the competition. So there you go. So thank you for everyone who's watching on the replay again, just to keep Ken happy, because he's never happy. No, he's always happy. Shut up now. So there's been plenty of stuff in the group. And of course, it all goes up on a Sunday.
And a Monday.
And a Monday. So
you're punished, you lot. You stick them up at the last minute.
So, if you're working on anything and you're not a member of the Facebook group, get over there, join the Facebook group, and just post your stuff up. But we'll start with Benjamin, who's got a 3D print. I just love these. This 3D printed catch a bra.
Nice.
All those buildings, nice. And I just thought those were wicked, and I want to know where they came from.
Yeah,
they are lovely.
Yeah, nice, man.
Really cool. Really cool.
They are very nice.
Very good, great for terrain, isn't it? It's just perfect.
Well, you could that. I mean, obviously, yeah, you've got just the farm, or you've got a small town there, haven't you? If you wanted to just set it up as in bolt action or something, or whatever.
And would you like to print some stuff maybe for CrackCon?
Oh yeah. Remember, CrackCon, bring a building or bring a hedge. It's just bring a piece of scenery with you. You get to take it home. But the place is apparently rife with fantasy and sci-fi stuff, but maybe not so much on historical stuff or just general terrain. So if everyone could just bring a tree or a hedge or a building with you, something like that, that would be ace. And then over the next few weeks, we'll be sorting out a few more things like games, and there'll be more info about that. And all sorts. Bjorn has done some more Dead Man's Hand.
Yes.
Very
So
nice.
I like those. I just like. Again, they're all everyone's just the stuff that they're doing on these is wicked because they're all different and everyone's got their own individual gangs, which is ace. And I think that's the one thing they've done really well with that set. What was that? That was that set. I should have put it on the news. Pirates, the blood and
oh
blood.
yes,
I did have some news. I have to fill it out next week. I won't go through it now. Brendan has been doing some chilly old guard. Very nice. They I do like it. See, I do like doing stuff in the snow. I'm gonna have to get my Carthaginians back out.
I've never done snow bases, so I'll have to do something. I've always wanted to do fins maybe in the snow.
Winter War.
I've loved doing my snow bases for these US Airborne. A lot of fun. Really, really good.
Having a throwback to Martin's snow overdose.
Yeah.
That stuff goes off. I've realised. I got it out the other day.
It's only got petrol's only got a certain life to it.
Moving on. Oh no, Nesties is there. Danny's done a tiger.
Nice.
Which is very nice. Cool. I do like to. It's always nice to see a tank rolling around. Although
and it's got a rather nice base coming, I think, there by the look of it. I like
it looks that way. Yeah,
very nice.
very
nice.
Good.
We approve.
And Dave Carlton took some inspiration from Steve with this one. That's an awesome looking sniper base, and that would be a perfect entry for example, for the basic
absolutely.
Basically, it doesn't have to be a 50mm base, but if a 50mm base is going to fit on it, then fantastic. But that's wicked. And again, what I love about that is the glass. I love the glass that people when they use
yeah, man, yeah.
Really,
nice.
Really good.
Very cool. Dave he's done two things. He's been working on French as well, but he's put up the King's German Legion. But because there's an abundance of French on here, I thought I'd share the picture of the
show the proper one.
KGF. Yeah, so but just very nice. I do like seeing them. I don't think they get in. I don't really seem to see them in enough armies. Although enough armies are on battle reports anyway. I know I've got the Hanoverians, but I don't actually have the KGL troops.
No.
I know. I was looking at a few, thinking, oh, maybe I should add to my Napoleonics, and then remembering I've got that box of Zulus that someone sent me sitting up there. So, I'll have to go for it. Drew, speaking of Napoleonics, British Napoleonics, there we go.
He's done a brilliant job with those.
Yeah,
they are lovely. So nice. I really like how crisp all of those colours have come out.
They have actually come out really nice, haven't they?
That's a crisp red right there. It really is.
Really nicely done. You'll have to tell us in the chat, Drew, what red you use there, mate.
And I bet it looks like it was on black as well, doesn't it? So he's primed up from black, hasn't he? Just really where the colours are. But yeah, no, it's nice when that happens, definitely.
Yeah, no, they've come out. Sorry, just says so. Drew's just said, how about a metal band Dead Man's Hand spin-off? So you could have Kiss beating up I don't know, Bon Jovi aren't metal, but whatever. You could definitely do something like that. And next in there, now this is very so Gaza. I love this. Arthur King of the Brits.
Wow, that was hats off to that one.
Fantastic. Ken, do you know what that's from?
I want to say Monty Python, but that's about it.
Yeah,
he's right.
Yes,
he's
right. Holy Grail.
He's
Yay!
I've never seen it, but yeah,
I've never seen. Oh,
you did so well then. You did well, and then you just had to.
You go and blow it like that.
I know about the certain scenes in it, like the is it the night tis but a scratch.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's just what he's doing when he comes over on Saturday. He thinks he's gonna be playing a game. What I'm actually going to do is tie him in a chair and just make him watch classic films and sitcoms.
And in between metal.
Yeah, just playing loads of Emperor. Yeah,
Martin set him up like that scene in A Clockwork Orange, so we can't escape it.
You know, Steve. Jesus.
Oh, that went dark.
Yeah, that went dark very quickly. Moving on, Grand Prix Brunswick Officer. I really like that base.
Oh, fantastic!
Really like it. In fact, it's just
lovely.
Awesome all
Anthony,
like
you've got to do a whole display of your entire Brunswick force when you finished it, because, geez, there's some beautiful figures he's been doing.
I know they're just mint. Jay's just the new British, so he's been working on those.
Very good.
They are cool. They are cool. Now Jody, he shared a picture of his fantasy stuff, and I was looking for the photo, and I just really like that one mainly because of the awesome banner that he's painted. And I think that's ace. I mean, I like the one behind it as well. It's got like the pentagram on it, but that one.
Oh,
that one is
that's some really cool freehand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Skelly one in the background there? That skeleton one is pretty cool as well.
Jeez.
Nice. Oh, no, it's cool, but it's all. I do like seeing Sinclair. I mean, again, I know that's for fantasy, but that's a massive Kings of War army as well, right there. Imagine all those on just one base. Joshua, French Napoleonics,
Lovely.
very, very nice. It's
Lovely figures. Wrong nation, but lovely.
I got a flag if you want it for that, Josh. I've got a flag, mate. If you're in the UK, I'll post it to you.
Is it just a white flag?
No. I've got spare ones. Because it wouldn't work. Mine. They're not 2nd Battalion because it's got an eagle. Even though I just know this, I know what you're saying, surrendering. But yes, but no, I've got a couple of spare flags if you want them.
It's I've just everyone's got the brave Sir Robin. He ran.
Oh,
away.
it's just gone completely all Monty Python in the chat. It's brilliant.
Love by a swallow. I want a shrubbery. Oh, that's awesome. And
well done, guys.
So now I had to include this one that Ken did, that Ken put up. Check that his Italian Wars.
Oh.
I mean,
every time I see his Italian Wars stuff, I just moistness is there. It's just brilliant. Just brilliant.
Oh, you might want to get that checked out.
Yeah.
It's the age,
bit of I think that's from is it the Shadespire game? So he's got the undead starter, the Night Haunts, I want to say, and I didn't realize that's where those Age of Sigmar ones came from that I painted up. But that's cool. It's good to see some fantasy stuff. I do like the ones on the right, the ones that kind of look like the Skeksis from the Dark Crystal.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I like them. Mark Waite. There we go. There you go, Ken.
Yay! They're Iron Brigade.
Iron Brigade, yeah.
Yeah.
So fantastic. I think those 10
they're
mil?
metal. No, they're 13.5 mil, aren't they? They're the
those.
Okay. Those
are
the epic ones, aren't they?
Yes.
Are they metal or are they?
Yeah, they're metal.
Yeah, they're metal. Yeah.
Right. Okay. They are very nice. Mark, more Dead Man's Head. Absolutely love the guy on the right in the white. I really like him. He looks like
the bank manager or something, doesn't he? Brilliant.
He looks a bit like my wife's uncle. I'm gonna have to just show her these, but that is ace. I do like. Is that the guy just next to him? Is that meant to be Lee Van Cleef?
I was gonna say it reminds me of it looks a bit like Mortimer.
Yeah. That is ace. Matt Mail, Franco-Prussian.
Nice job.
Very, very nice. There's more of that. So, see, the more of this that appears, I'm getting tempted by that. But then I've got the Zulus, but then I've got these. Oh, it's just going to be so bad. Moving on to things here. Paul, some good old Burgundians.
Burgundians.
Handgunners. Very good. You must have quite a lot now, Paul. Have you done? You should give us a shot of everything you've done so far, because you've obviously I know you've been putting them up. There's quite a bit of your Hastings stuff that you've put up. Robin. He's working on Suffolk's, the Delapoles, and he's chucked in some extra personalities in there, so you could like that you've seen as well. So he's on like a small unit of men at arms.
Really
nice.
Nice jacket down there in the front. Coat of arms.
Yeah, he's got some like minor East Anglian nobles in there. So that is very cool. I'm going to share it just because Sean with some just putting us all to shame with his ACW stuff there. But it's just awesome. And again, I just like how crisp and clear all the colours are.
Yeah.
Oh God, I haven't put up the code. Here's the code, everybody, if you want to get 10% off on top of the normal discount at reapergames.co. Sorry, Jim. So go into that. Steve is that's his Tewkesbury project. Now he said that this is actually the last unit now. But that's more No, this is 15mm. That's Peter Pig. Stuff for Wars Roses Tewkesbury, which is very, very cool. I have to share this. VK did this. Had shared this picture of this massive Anglo Zoo, which hasn't helped. So I left my comment and it clicked off of it very, very quickly, just to leave it. And then Warren, some bolt action.
Yes,
nice.
So well done, everyone. That is awesome, and it's just really cool to see what everyone is working on. It really, really is. I'm just going to scroll back through.
It's brilliant to see all the variety of things that people work on, isn't it? That's the thing. It just the hobby is so diverse, and the audience here is so diverse in the stuff they do.
But that's the great thing. But then even between us four and our gaming, we're all pretty diverse in our actual games that we play in our tastes, aren't we? It's just all of us cross over slightly in different areas, which is the cool thing. Bill Roy says that the Dead Man's Hand starter set is no more, having sold out today. Oh, but maybe they'll do another one because like the gangs are open. They made a different. Once one starter set sold out, they actually just made a different starter set, so you could carry on. You could actually keep buying starter sets. Steve Harbour said, "How about Kiss versus Man of War?" I'm not quite sure who I'd want to win. I don't know. I'd hate to.
I'd pay money to see Gwar versus Skid Row. Here we go.
Okay. With what's his name? Sebastian Bach.
Sebastian Bach, yeah.
Getting eaten by a giant monster, and that's the tame way of putting it.
That reference went right. I follow some of them, but that one just gone. No idea.
We'll send you a video of Gwar. So what are you guys working on this week, Steve? What are you going to be working on?
I'm going to finish these because I want these airborne finished this week, so I can order that Hellcat. And that'll be the project finished. Although I've got to buy a Jeep, but I'm buggered if I'm paying £17 for a transport unit. Sorry, that's just me ranting there.
That's your northern side pockets.
Last week when we were talking about Rubicon, and I found that Jeep, a Rubicon Jeep, 69 pieces.
I'm happy.
Is that a joke or is he?
No.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
Why?
Why?
Do you know what I do? I just put all those pieces. I just put a big blob of glue on a base and just put it on there and say it's wrecked. And here it is. It's schematically correct. Here's all the pieces. It just got hit by an HE round.
Reduced to its component parts in one shell.
What about you, Ken? What are you working on this week? Are you working?
Well, I've kind of finished it, to be honest. Pretty much.
Oh, Lurtz.
Yeah.
Hey, nice one.
A bit of freehand on his head there. Yeah, he's pretty much near enough done. I'm quite happy with that. But yeah, no, I'll probably do if I can get him done. I'll maybe spend another hour on him. I want to really make some niceness of him because of his character, and then I'm going to do some more World of Roses.
Awesome. And Dom, what about you?
Well, I'm going to probably just carry on with the addiction that is War of the Roses. I want to do some more. I've got some heavy cavalry that I'm going to do up as. I've got some heavy cavalry I'm going to do up. They're almost finished to be done, all made up and based and primed and everything ready to go. But I think I'm going to do next some more light cavalry for Clifford's Flower of Craven troops. That's the plan. We'll see. If I get around to it, I've got a game again this week, so we'll see.
Awesome. I'm just going to. I might do the other Wing of Musketeers for Bard, and then all I've got left for the ECW is a cannon and characters, and that's the vast majority of. Well, it's everything I've got basically painted, and then everything after that. I need to get some dragoons at some point, but once I finish ECW, I said I'm not touching those Zulus you sent me till the ECW is. Oh no, the ECW Sean sent me. Oh, I've got all I had to do. See, that's what he does. Yeah, just stuff. I've also got some chosen men to paint for my friend, which I'm going to get on with because I've got them all ready and prepped to go. I just need to actually paint the buggers, so I'll get them done. Just to finish off, there's some other suggestions for if Dead Man's Hand was heavy metal. You could have Limp Bizkit versus Slipknot.
Oh, come on, we said heavy metal.
We'll put Carpathian Forest versus Little Mix.
What?
I'll be up for that. Lawnmower Death versus Lordy.
Lawnmower Death.
And then Paul coming in here saying My Dying Bride versus the Fields and then Nephilim. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Next week it is Steve.
Yes, me.
Yeah, because the order's changed slightly, hasn't it? So it's Steve next. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching. It'll be on Steve's channel next week, and we hope you have a awesome week. Take care, and we'll see you all soon. Have a good week. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah, and Chris Richards sent us an email. Well done for winning.
Yeah.
See you later.